Dr. Wells, please, what do I do?
You create a vacuum, right? Rotate your arms at super speed. That'll create a wind funnel that will suck the air right out of the room.
Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on The Flash Season 5. So just quickly, I will be doing a giveaway for the new Flash pop figures that came out, or Funko Pops, whatever you call them, at the end of this video. So stick around until then to find out how you can enter and all of that. So we're just over 3 weeks away from The Flash being back with Season 5, which is of course very exciting. But even though I was a fan of Season 4, I know with some it wasn't their, well, cup of tea, which is fine. But one concern with that group of people that didn't like Season 4 is that the show may continue down the road with certain themes, tones, or just general direction that, that they didn't necessarily like. And I guess the same could go with people that did like Season 4, that the showrunners might change stuff around and we could end up with a depressing mess, aka the second coming of Satan, aka Season 3 of The Flash. But according to Barry Allen himself, that being Grant Gustin, Season 5 might just be the show's best season yet. But this is what he had to say about it to EW. I don't want people's expectations to be through the roof, but I really think this could be very similar to Season 1 in terms of the heart and humour it had and the scope. Now yes, I know some of you might already be typing away in the comments something like, oh yeah, Pagey, of course he would say that, he isn't going to say this season's going to suck or anything like that. And yeah, I agree with you. But yeah, even though I do think it isn't the best idea to take the actors or producers' words as like gospel when it comes to the quality of the show, as they're going to say it's good because it's their job, I do have to say that a decent amount of what we have seen so far this season in regards to, stuff that we've seen from trailers and promo images has given me a sort of Season 1 feel. They're even like deliberately placing nods to moments from Season 1 in early parts in Season 5 with various things that Nora is doing, being the same things that Barry went through when he just became the Flash. Team Flash hasn't really felt like a proper team since like Season 2, I would say, but it does seem like they will be trying to come back to that feel of like an actual family this season, as that is one of the major themes for the season. But speaking of family, one thing that will be contributing to the lightheartedness of the season will obviously be the return of the wonderful and well-constructed line of We're the Flash. But another thing that will be contributing to this season's lightheartedness will of course be the arrival of Nora Allen from the future. And to be exact, that is 30 years in the future. Now it is going to be interesting to see how a 20-something-year-old girl from the future acts. But the strangest scenario that this presents is of course the fact that Barry and Iris are now parents to a child that is a couple of years younger than them. So of course you expect parents to be older than their children, but not 2 or 3 years older. And this is what Todd Helbing, the producer for The Flash, had to say in regards to that. They're learning all of the lessons new parents learn when their kids grow up. But since she's an adult, it sort of adds this heightened scenario to all those decisions. Now obviously we will be seeing the introduction to Barry and Iris being parents to Nora in this weird way, but what Nora has already experienced that Barry and Iris haven't is them being parents. Well, at least Iris being a parent. Obviously there's still like a big question mark around Barry's existence in the future when Nora is growing up. We already know there is something up between Nora and Iris. Something has happened to cause a bit of friction between those two. Personally, like I've said a few times, I believe Iris has just like warned her about the dangers of time travel. And then Nora has, time traveled, messed everything up, and now Nora sort of feels guilty. Some people have said that like Iris is like a child abuser or something in the future, which is just some like weird dark stuff. Like if you think that, then what the hell? But you can tell Nora is pumped to be around Barry, and Grant Gustin dived deeper into all of that. The dynamic between Barry and Nora has been a lot of fun to play with. Nora really looks up to Barry and they have a connection right away, and she brings out that kind of fun, more bubbly side of Barry that we don't get to see quite as much anymore. So it should be good to see these two kick it off. Like I am very excited to see, Nora and Barry's relationship, but also the relationship between the Flash and XS. But I'm not expecting it to be like all happy and dandy and rainbows and lollipops and stuff like that. And that just comes down to the fact that they will also be out there fighting crime together and putting their lives on the line. So Barry will have to take that serious, hopefully, and maybe get a bit, strict with Nora if she does make a mistake or, puts herself in risk when she doesn't have to. Which she seems to love doing, like just look at the timeline, she loves making mistakes. But now let's move on to the villain for this season, which is of course Cicada, who will be played by Chris Klein. Now an important thing to remember is that this season starts right where we left the end of Season 4. So I think I remember reading somewhere that the entire first episode takes place within the first 12 hours after the Season 4 finale. And Cicada will be in the first episode and make his presence known within that episode. So Nora mate, what the hell did you do to the timeline? But anyway, here is what Grant Gustin had to say specifically about, everything regarding Cicada. We learned pretty early on, which shouldn't come as a huge shock, that Nora being here actually has something to do with Cicada's arrival. He can dampen other metahuman powers, and we don't know at first how he's able to do that. He's got an edge that no other big bad has ever had. We don't know who he is. He's mysterious. He's just kind of an intimidating, big scary man that can render pretty much all of these metahuman superheroes useless more or less in battle. He comes on really hard and fast the first time we meet him, so right away there's an intimidation factor that's through the roof, similar to Zoom. But the nature around Cicada's powers has been a bit of a talking point amongst viewers and fans, saying that he is the big bad for the season. So of course people are curious as to how and why he should be seen as a big threat. But as Grant says, he can dampen metahuman powers, and when it comes down to it, most metas without their powers are pretty hopeless. Like Barry, let's be honest, is a bit of a dweeb, same with Cisco. It's pretty rare you get that many metas that are heroes in an action sense without their abilities. So it is going to be interesting to see how the team deals with that, especially if some of them lose these powers. But in most cases, you would think that when he takes a meta's powers away from them, he would follow on and kill them, because we know there's going to be a lot of deaths this season. So maybe Cicada's really selective in regards to who he just takes the powers away from, but then also who he takes the powers away from, and then, goes on and kills them. So maybe there's like a selection process that he has, who knows. Now, one thing that is pretty surprising to me is that one of the things that Cicada has in regards to, like an edge that none of the other big bads has, is that Team Flash doesn't know who he is, that he is mysterious. Now by this, I don't think they mean like, oh, he has a mask on, so that's why they don't know who he is. Because we have had that the first 3 seasons with Reverse Flash, Zoom, and Savitar. What I think they mean by this is that they have no intel on who he is, like what sets him out to do all of this, any context behind it, or anyone out there that knows his powers in depth and what he has done before. We have none of that. The only thing we could get on him is something from Nora about Cicada in the future possibly, but that would be like Cicada at his like strength. So you don't really want to know about him when he's at his full strength. You want to know about him like, currently, like, everything behind him at this point in time. And I do like the fact that straight out of the gates for season 5, we will just have Cicada like laying it all out. That was a great thing about Zoom, us the audience just getting to see Zoom straight away, like no mucking around. So I'm guessing in the first episode for season 5, we will see him kill someone or multiple people, who knows. Probably just some randoms. I wouldn't expect him to kill like a major person. But we do know that he will be paying Joe West a visit, as we do see in that trailer from 2 weeks ago roughly. But the last thing for this video, and once again it's in regards to Cicada, comes from Todd Helbing once again, who said this. The backstory that we created and sort of why he's doing what he is doing this year is completely different too. He's more of a blue-collar metahuman. So we get the suggestion that Cicada's family has been killed, but it has also been noted that his family was torn apart by metahumans, so I don't necessarily know if they were killed or metahumans just caused them to bail. Who knows what's going to happen there. I'm expecting they're dead and that's his goal to bring them back to life, something along those lines. So he is really setting out to rid Central City of metas, cleanse the city of metas. But in regards to him being a blue-collar metahuman, that sounds pretty interesting. From what I'm getting, the way in which they mean that is that he does all the dirty work himself as a villain. He isn't sending other people to do his stuff or creating other metas to allow his plan to work. He is going around and achieving his goals by himself, his way. Now in the comics, Cicada does have a cult, which is a big part of it. They go around themselves with lightning bolt daggers and stuff and kill people to generate power for Cicada. Now that could come into play later on. It is a long season after all. There is 22 episodes this season, but that is something that we'll just have to wait and find out. Obviously, they're not going to reveal that in episode 1 and stuff, whether the cult's happening or not. Early on, at least, we know that he will be out there getting his hands and that lightning bolt dagger nice and dirty with blood, you would hope. But now let's get into the giveaway. So as I said, it's for one of those new Funko Pops for the Flash. So it's either Vibe, Jay Garrick, Wally West, or the Flash in his season 4 suit. Yes, I know there's a Killer Frost one, but that's a New York Comic Con exclusive, so that won't be out for a while. I think these new Flash Pops are going to be out in the next couple of weeks. So as soon as they're out, whoever wins this will get to choose which one they get, and it's off to you. So all you have to do to enter this giveaway is leave a like on the video, be subscribed to the channel, and answer this question in the comments section down below, which is, what character from the Flash that doesn't have a current Funko Pop would you want and why? So examples for this question would be Iris, Jesse Quick, Apartment 4, any of them. So you leave which character you would want and why. And yeah, along with that, leaving a like and being a subscriber, and you're entered. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Might have another video out today, not too sure. If not, I'll see you tomorrow for another video. And until then, I'll catch you later, guys. Goodbye.